Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I'm going to do another installment of Jewel Food Store Tales. And one might ask, if you haven't seen the first and second installment, what is that? Many years ago when I was a young guy, I started off working at Jewel Food Store at the age, I think, 17. I stayed there for 17 years. I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed working with the people that I work with. And I was talking with a old childhood friend of mine about a few days ago. He said, man, you should share some of those stories, man, because they're pretty interesting. So I thought that I would, and I hope that they are pretty interesting. I did installment number 1, number 2, and number 3. And what I forgot to do in number 2 that I'm going to do right now in number 3 before I forget. Like I said, I was with Jules for about 17 years, and I haven't been there since I think almost 30 years I left. And to this day, I still have my very last Jewel Food ID. Stick it up there. That's how memorable that company was to me, that I kept this. Because of course, throughout the years after leaving, I've moved quite a few times and moved out the state. But every time I left and moved, this went with me. And I put it somewhere where I can find it. And still, I know it's around here somewhere, but I don't know where at. You know, because again, I cherish those memories. They were pretty good memories. And I wrote down so I wouldn't forget, some of this stuff. Some of the stories. And I'm going to start off with a funny one. I first started working at Jewel's on the location 83rd King Drive in Chicago, Illinois. Then I got transferred over to 87 and Stony because I got promoted to full-time. And when I was over at 83rd and King Drive, the store got robbed twice. And I remember, I wasn't there, thank goodness. The first time, it was the guy that was store closed at 9 o'clock. This guy came in about 8:50. And somebody seen him. He was shopping, didn't stand out. Then he kind of ducked into the produce back room. It's like, what's up with that? He's not an employee, so what is he doing back there? He quickly emerged with a ski mask and a gun and proceeded to rob the store. And the second time, a guy came in on Sunday, robbed the store, took the security guard and put him in the meat freezer, handcuffed him up in there. And they never did find out who did it, but the first robbery was an inside job. I mean, I know that personally, and that's all the information I'm giving on that. But that was pretty interesting. I got down here, great store location. And I guess the first one I worked at was 83rd King Drive. That was a real good location. It was a quiet neighborhood, and it was not hard to get to, and it wasn't congested, as far as you got to fight traffic to get up in there to do your shopping and fight traffic out. Really nice neighborhood. I want to call it, I forget the name of that neighborhood. I think it was Brainerd. But you meet interesting people there, because what we used to do sometime as a courtesy to our older customers is we would, if they didn't have a car, we would walk. The bag boys would walk down to their location and help them with their groceries. And one day I had the privilege of walking with a lady, and I kind of recognized her, but I said, I don't want to ask her, because if she's not, it looks awkward. And kind of if she is, it looks awkward. And she introduced herself. She was Emmett Till's mother. Now, for those who don't know who Emmett Till was a young black kid in the South, and they claim, but a lot of new research or diving back into that story, they claimed he whistled at a white woman, but now recently they claimed that he didn't even do that. And she went home and told her husband and her, I think, brother, and they went to Emmett Till's house, took him out of the house, and then they killed him. And I think they threw him in the water or in the lake. And when she buried her son, she refused to close the casket because she wanted everybody to see what they done to her baby boy. That was really just an unbelievable, horrific story. And I had the honor of meeting her in person. Several times I used to walk her grocery to her home, or apartment home. So that was kind of a, interesting story. On 115th in Halsted, because I worked there maybe twice. Sometime when they shorthanded, they would have people from other stores come in if their night crew people couldn't make it. And what was interesting about 115th was they were notorious for getting robbed in the parking lot. Because my partner that used to work there, he said, man, it got so bad that you step out there on payday and you just look up under the cars and see feet. Meaning that these guys is hiding up under the cars, this thing bent over, hiding behind the car, And that's what sparked, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, because we used to get paid, and this is before actually I started, used to get paid on Fridays. But after those rash of the employees getting robbed, they changed the payday from Friday to Thursday, because most people get paid on Friday, at least back then. That's that 1st and the 15th nonsense. I'm going to tell you why that's some nonsense in a minute. So they changed it from Friday to Thursday. And we used to get paid every week. Now I'm going into the next bullet point here. And it ties in with that. We got paid once a week. Now, reason why, and a lot of people, I spoke to a friend of mine who, he's an accountant. He said, I didn't even think about that. And I'm not sure why he didn't think about that. But it's like this. We used to get paid once a week, once a week, 4 times a month. When I went to corporate America, we were every 2 weeks. Then went to that 1st and the 15th nonsense. And I'm going to tell you why this is not, the 1st and the 15th thing is nonsense. Because, say for instance, just a small figure, you make $1,000 a pay period. And when they do the 1st and the 15th, now I'm about to mess this up. When you get paid on the 1st and the 15th, as opposed to every 2 weeks, technically your checks are bigger, but it's the same total gross of the money that you make per month. So now it's just in bigger increments as opposed to broken down to smaller parts. And guess what? The bigger your check is, the more they tax it. So they technically taxing the same money more because it's distributed differently. When you got paid once a week, that's a smaller check, so they would tax it smaller as opposed to a 2-week check that's bigger and they tax it more because it's bigger than a 1-week check. So basically what they done now is they taxing you more for the same fucking money. They taxing you more for the same money. It's just distributed and broken up in smaller or in bigger increments. Because when we used to get paid every 2 weeks, and this applies to everybody that used to get paid every 2 weeks, depending on the calendar, I want to say it was in February. I forget, but it's it's 2 times out the year that you get technically 3 checks when you get paid every 2 weeks because of the way that the months line up. So you look at it as a free check, but now you get that no more. That's lumped into the rest of the money, your paycheck. So again, it's the same money, just being redistributed and being taxed more, so that's some BS. A lot of people didn't realize that, because you used to get paid, traditionally on Fridays, and you take your family out to dinner or, pizza or whatever. Now you get paid on the 15th, it's Tuesday. It's like, it's the middle of the week, it's not the weekend where we can go out and stay out late. So that's that one. Number 5. You know what? I'm not even gonna mention that. That's so trivial. That one is too. Okay, get down here to this one. How did I get from 87, from 83rd and King Drive to 87 in Stony Island? I got promoted. One of my managers, Harold Hall, thought so much of me that he said, hey, I think you deserve to be a full-time employee. Because a lot of guys here work hard, but you seem to work, try to give us 110%. You always come in when you're scheduled. You always come in when we call you. When you're not on the schedule, you're always willing to help. So, he thought that, and he put me in, and, I got in. Now, the reason why there was a vacancy for me to fill full-time at 87 and King Drive is for this reason. The night crew people at that particular time, because we would come in I want to say 10 at night to about 6 in the morning, something like that. So it was all night long. And those people at 87 and Stony, they got real comfortable because the store wasn't open and they was in there, there's no manager there to watch you, just the night crew chief. And they got real comfortable. From what I was told, that they were cooking up steaks one night. They was going to the meat locker thing, getting out steaks and cooking and eating. And what Jules sometimes would do as far as the security, they would have a guy literally in the ceiling and to monitor us, to watch us. And one night, these guys got real comfortable and real sloppy. And the guy jumped out of the ceiling onto the floor and got them all fired. So that's why I was able to get promoted and get sent over there, because the whole entire night crew got fired, because they were stealing and eating, And let me see, I'm going to wrap this up. And one guy that I forgot to mention in number 1 and 2, and he worked with me. He came in, I think, maybe a couple of years after me. Real nice guy. His name was Bernard. And I think Bernard was probably the guy that stayed with Jules the longest, because the last time I spoke to Bernard and seen him, probably about 17 years ago, actually. And he maybe wasn't even that long. He was still there. And now he's a store manager in South Chicago from the last time I talked to him. Real nice guy. Bernard is one of those guys where everybody that encounter Bernard or know him got nothing but good things to say about him. Nothing bad. There's somebody on YouTube that I follow, and he followed me, and I'm not going to mention his name for this reason. He has that same quality where everybody likes him. He has that likes and dislike thing displayed, which I don't, because I'm not here to be rated. And out of all the videos that I've watched and the views that he's got, nobody has ever said, put a bad thing in there. And the reason why I'm not going to mention his name, because you got some trolls watching this right now, and if I give a name, they go there and they'll be the first one to be that clown act the ass like that. So I'm not going to do that. But another one to wrap it up, one of the coolest store managers I ever had, his name was Mike Altimer. Mike was a real cool guy. Mike was one of those guys that you would come in for him on the day off if he needed you, because how nice he was, his managerial skills. Because like I told you, Harold Hall was kind of a tight guy, kind of, tough, and it's like, ugh. But Mike, everybody loved Mike, because I think some of the guys used to hang out with him and play softball. And Mike became really good friends with us, and he would talk to us, because I never forget. And I had to been, 19 or 20 when he told us this story, because Mike probably at that time was in his late 30s, and he lived in a really nice neighborhood because, Jules paid well. He drove a really nice car, and he said the reason why he left his first wife, he said one day he was out with the second car, and he looked up and seen another dude driving his first car, and he's like, what the? Then he found out that his wife was, having an affair with the young dude, and she was letting him drive her husband's car, which was messed up. But I'm going to sign off now, and I hope that this was entertaining and just fun to listen to, because again, I got nothing but good things to say about that organization. When it was time for me to leave, I didn't want to leave. I just stopped coming to work instead of I'm quitting because it's over. I got my corporate job, and this has ran its course, and I didn't want it to run its course. I kind of wanted to just last and last and last, but everything comes to an end, whether it's good or bad. So on that note, I'm going to sign off. And again, I hope this has been entertaining. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care.